Okay, and last on our list, we have Tom Maggio with 620 Cherry Street. And I think I saw Tom on Zoom.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can you see that okay?
No.
Okay. Can you see that?
Still no.
Still
That's
no.
just the image of the house. I don't know if you give me permission to share my screen. Oh, it says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Yeah, we have to get permission from to share the screen.
Right at the middle of the bottom of the screen, right?
Yeah.
Share screen.
Click on the share screen and then, yep.
There you go, Tom.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how's that now?
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the Kirshner House, 620 Cherry Street. This is a picture from last summer, sort of highlights all the work we've done to the exterior of the house. Just real quick, the property was built in 1913, so it's 110 years old this year. Dr. Kirshner and his wife built the property. He also built a doctor's office in the rear of the home, and that's our restoration project too. So we've actually restored two homes. The main house is American Foursquare style, and it's one of the first homes that was built on the garden court. The property was in the back. The doctor's office was converted to a separate house in 1933. And the property is actually one of the last remaining, if it's not the only remaining, professional residence office properties in Erie County. And we are a contributing building to the West 6th Street National Historic Register District, which was designated in 1984. Here's a quick picture of the doctor's office behind. We've restored that, and now it's a rental unit. Here's another view of that. And you notice we've kept all the original windows and doors, although a couple of them need some serious work. So here's what we bought in 2008, 2009. We invested $60,000 to date. $15,000 was in kind. Our in-kind labor, our sweat equity. I had to do a complete rewire, new plumbing lines. I just did $6,000 in sewer line repairs. That's just part of the old house dilemma that something's going to go at some point. We did try to repair the gutter system and the roof over the years, but we're sort of at the breaking point right now. So there are other items we fixed too. We kept the house intact inside and out. We did follow the Secretary of the Interior standards, despite there was no requirement to do so. And so that leads us to where we are today. So this is actually 13 years ago. The condition of the home. What I wanted to say with this is that we worked in earnest to restore the home as quickly as possible on the facade. So I kept the original windows on the second floor where I could. I replaced 8 windows with Marvin windows for $600 each. They're wood windows, extruded aluminum on the outside. I used full pane storms on the first floor where I could to keep the original windows. Same with the door, and we even did some masonry repair. It's a colored asphalt, colored mortar, so it's very difficult to match, but I think we did a decent job. So the need for the grant. So after we purchased the house, we discovered the gutters, which were copper, were improperly installed, and they leaked through the soffits and damaged the soffits and the brackets. It was just one of those things where the home inspector missed it, and the disclosure form omitted it, unfortunately. We sealed the seams and it seems like every summer I was out on the roof sealing some seams, and it's just not possible to continue that. But unfortunately, what we discovered too is that the dormer flashing was not done properly either, and so what we thought was a roof that was going to last until 2030 probably should have been replaced a couple years ago. I tried it in vain last year to fix it, and All Weather Roofing just said that there was just no way they could do that. It would be more cost effective to re-roof. I got a quote from Jason Clem, a coppersmith, to replace the copper gutter system, and quote $17,000. The alternative is to use 3-tab shingles, remove the box gutter sheet over it, and install the suburban style gutters and downspouts, which we don't want to do. But we're sort of at a point where we have to make a decision about that. So what we're asking for is $15,000 to help us keep the existing profile of the roof with the box gutter. It would be an aluminum box gutter in brown color, which would mimic the tarnished copper that we have now, and keep the profile of the roof. And we'd really like to continue using the architectural shingles, which look like slate, of course. The other part of it is replacing some of the damaged brackets, which aren't structural; they're just decorative, and painting the soffits on the north and south elevation. We also want to replace the wood front door, the entry door. We've tried over the years to refurbish it. I just reset it on the hinges, and it doesn't stick anymore, but it certainly doesn't seal. And I'll show you the image in a few slides. But we really feel that investment, coupled with our investment, is going to raise the value of the home for the good of the neighborhood, and keep up with the work that Tom Hagen has been doing. So for the next 25 years, the roof line, the dormers, the porch, the windows, the front door will remain as they were almost exactly from 1913. This is the gutter condition. You see on the left, there's the seam with a sealant. Some of them survived, some of them did not. But what happens, because they lapped the copper, when it expands and contracts, it breaks the solder that was on there, and the water goes through the soffit. And it's a really frustrating situation for us. And you can see on the right side the construction of the box gutter. This is what we like to keep, that profile, as you see, with the hidden gutter, which is the typical element of the Foursquare. This is a soffit condition. Some of that wood probably needs to be replaced, and that's something that we would take care of finally. And this is the rear, where one of the brackets was so waterlogged it rotted. The brackets themselves are going to be a difficult chore to replicate, so I'm looking at a millwright to do that. This is actually outside the project. I'm going to try to do that on my own. The front door condition on the left, we refurbished it, cleaned it, revarnished it. It looks okay. It's a very much of a production door. I found the original ad. It's typical of the West Bay front and a lot of the older parts of the city. You can see the lock says original, but the doorknob is not. It's it's old house parts. It's hard to find things. And you see at the bottom the 100 years of people nailing gaskets on to keep the cold out, but the veneers is come off, and it's just not able to be fixed. I'd like to buy a solid wood door from a company in Lake City, and the two on the right are the ones they produce, and just the one on the left is a typical image. That's what we'd like to do. I'm open to other styles if you recommend that we investigate other styles, but for security and air infiltration, I think it's time for us to upgrade the front door. So the scope of work is the roof repair and the gutter repair, the entry door, and then painting of the soffit. So that's $23,200. We will provide a match of 35%. I don't want to go over the threshold of $25,000 to trigger prevailing wage because it would increase the project by maybe 20%, and it's just that's just out of our budget. But we have other things that we would be working on additionally, including the porch slab and steps, which is the last thing we need to do to round out the renovation. So we hope that we can bring this to the finish line with your help and keep the look and feel of that home for the next at least 25 years or more. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. You mentioned in your grant application that you are working with vendors for both the door and the gutters, but for the soffit and bracket repainting, are you planning on doing that yourself, or do you? I heard you say you have someone that you're looking at that will be doing the reproduction brackets for you, but do you intend to do most of the painting yourself?
Well, I don't think my wife wants me to get up on a ladder. I did the east and the west when I was younger, 15 years ago. But what I'm looking at, I have a quote. It's from Sam Catania.
Okay, thank you.
To do those elevations. I'd like to. I could maybe get an additional quote. I do have a quote from All Weather Roofing for the roof and the gutter system, and it's Allegheny Door Company. Is that the name of it, in Lake City? I have a quote from them for the door fabrication, and I'd like to use Skip Knoll to do the installation. He did that for me. He did the windows for me. He's an excellent crew. So I do have quotes. I'm in the process of getting additional ones. People are backlogged, and but I'm going to try to get some quotes just to see if we're competitive. I'd like to do it myself, but it's just it's higher than it looks.
You certainly don't have to do it yourself. I was actually just trying to get to if you were going to be working with a contractor or you did intend to do it yourself. So I was just asking questions about
contractor this.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion on the table. Dave, did you have questions
Yeah, I had
before we move to motion?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was just, is it okay to ask questions now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I was ask Tom, for the gutter, are you going to, for the current built-in gutter, are you going to fill that in so that the water doesn't transverse that and go smoothly down to your new gutter?
No, we're not going to do the K gutter. We're going to keep the box gutter.
You are? Okay, I'm sorry. I misread your, okay.
Yeah, it was kind of like there was the option, the choice to either go with that or, yeah, but we're definitely going to keep the box gutter. I think it works well. I think it holds a lot of water for only having 2 downspouts. And with ice situation, I think it's advantageous to have the box gutter. But yeah, we're going to keep it.
Okay, just make sure. I think I saw the K on there, and it just was checking, so thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have any other questions, Dave?
No, I think that was it.
Okay, so we do have a motion on the table from Jeff.
I'll second it.
We have a second from Mark. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving the grant application for 620 Cherry, signify by aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Awesome. Okay, congratulations, Tom.
Bravo.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
I have 2 extra ones. Did we go over Stephen Green's? That was in the pile. Did
Who
I
is
miss
it?
it?
That
Or we
might
didn't
have
bring it
been
up?
something off.
That looks like the painting, the one from
Okay, this isn't us.
South-
All right,
South
okay,
Area.
and then there's another one here. All right.
I was
so
going to say, we
So
don't
I'm
have
not
anything in the folder with that name. Okay, so we're at that point in the meeting where if
Those
no
are
one has
quotes
anything
from the
further,
other
we'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
What about the review of the grant agreement that Chris sent out?
So Chris did provide that. I haven't looked over it yet,
Yeah,
but
And we just got it Thursday is when he sent it to me, so I
Okay.
got it to you as quick as I could, but.
I looked at it and I thought it was specifically for D.
Yeah.
And, so I was trying to fix it.
It is their standard, it's kind of a standard template, grant template.
Does that have the 5-year thing on it? Because I thought it did.
The what 5 years?
I'll have to look again, I'm not sure. I looked at it Thursday, but not today.
The what, Mark? What?
There was, when I had done the grant before, and they had given me the standard boilerplate agreement from Erie Redevelopment Authority, there was like they would give you the money, but there was a 5-year period that you had to hold on to the property. And I think I saw that in the thing.
I just read it again this morning.
Did not
It's
have it?
in there. It's not in there. It's not in there. And that's okay. Until this gets approved, no grants are going to go out. That's my only concern, is the sooner we approve it, the sooner they can actually release the grant.
Do we need to approve it? This would be my follow-up question.
I don't think we need to approve it, my understanding. He just wanted to make sure it was something that we liked.
So can oh, I'm sorry, I didn't.
Because that's the
interrupt.
deal. I mean, the deal, you know what I mean? The contract is the contract with them, and we're
Right.
agreeing to the
Right.
contract.
Right, so if we could, why don't we kind of make note as commissioners, if we do have comments, questions, to get them to Chris before the end of this week?
Okay.
Does that suffice?
Yep.
That's fine. My only comment on the whole thing is, if I was a grant applicant, I'd want to know when I'm going to be reimbursed. How long after I complete
Correct.
the work do I have to wait to get my money? 'Cause otherwise, I'm carrying, if I borrow the money or budgeting, right, I'm out $15,000, and if it takes 6 months to get reimbursed, well, that's something I'd like to know. That's my only comment.
Right. There should be a timetable. Even like when you tell the commission that the work has been done, then Chris is going to have to take time to come see it and sign off on it. That document's going to have to go to the redevelopment authority so that they would release the funds to reimburse those folk. You know what I mean? And then that could take a bit.
How long's a bit? That's the
6 months. That's what I was saying.
That's my concern. I would like to know if I'm a grant applicant, how long I'm
I'm-
going to have to wait for my
I'm-
money.
So do you recall anything in the agreement that provides a timeline for the turnaround? No.
I read specifically for that. Other than the fact the work has to be done within a year, doesn't say anything about, there's a reimbursement form in there, which makes it, that's the first thing you got to fill out, but it doesn't say when you get your money.
That might be a side question then. My guess is they may not have intentionally put that in there just to allow for some degree of flexibility.
Yeah, my think is it's not going to be terribly long wait because there have already been some applicants. Well, I don't know if we've approved any of those grants yet or not, but there was one potential applicant who asked, because they didn't have the money up front, if they could work with a contractor who would provide the invoice, and then the money would go directly to the contractor. Which
Oh,
Development
so
Authority-
they would not be doing, they wouldn't be the upfront payment.
Right. If there's an economic issue or something, as long as the contractor's willing to do that and there's an agreement in place that they have the grant, then they'll work with it that way.
I've done that with other grant programs.
That does make sense.
Well, and I was just, in my walking every street in the city of Erie, I just walked up Cascade Street between 6th and 12th Street, right, which, a lot of those houses could use this grant money, but I'm sure they probably can't come up with the $15,000 in advance. If that's an option that we're saying that
Yes.
you could, you don't have to do the payment in advance.
Yeah,
As long as the money was going to a third party.
yes. Yeah, it won't go to the
It goes
applicant,
directly
it'll
to
go
It would go to the contractor. Of course, then the contractor could not do it.
Well, it goes to the contractor after the work is
Oh,
done.
I see, okay. 'Cause
But at least then
that's
they're-
been known to happen.
Front the money. That may actually make it open to more.
Yeah, we've
More
had-
people.
we've
There might
had
be more
a couple
people.
applicants
Good.
for that.
And especially people that don't have the wherewithal to front the money.
Right, because we are getting quite a few applicants that are more working class that may not have that kind of money up front, so.
Yeah. And even our, the one that for PACA, it was much more,
Yeah.
and we only asked this part of it, Do you know what I mean? The job was bigger.
So are we?
Like, because these guys are asking for
changing the
$15,000 for
requirement?
a $17,000 job.
Well,
I
Allow
wouldn't,
it.
I wouldn't publicize it.
What's that?
I wouldn't publicize it.
Yeah, and that's something that the Development Authority has to approve, not us.
Okay.
Okay.
But I did have that conversation with Aaron, and he's the one who.
I do have one piece of new business.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, here's my idea. Lawn signs for the places that we've given money to that just says something about this work funded by Erie Redevelopment Authority, and maybe a website if you want more information, check the website. It gets the message out there, it gets some publicity that this work is being done and that we're involved in it.
We'll also, at least with some of the bigger projects, and I think we should be able to do them with some of the smaller projects too, publicize it on social media. Take a picture before and after, or during the work or something, and said this.
I love all of that. I mean, I would put this sign up because it's good that the neighbors would see it.
Or people driving by
People
saying,
driving by.
hey, I want to get my share of that. And I checked with them, they're like $10 a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're spending almost $750,000, right? We could afford $10 a piece for the
No, we
sign.
should just do it.
And we're at a
We just
point-
print them.
We're also at a point where the applications are slowing down. I've got a few that weren't included in this month because they needed corrections, or they just were complete enough. And then I've got a couple more new ones for next month. But other than that, it's slowed down a little bit.
Really?
So we'll republicize, and I
Hey,
think the
Chris?
more we republicize, especially when people are seeing what the projects are doing, we'll get more applications.
Dave, you had something?
Chris, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was just going to ask, did someone see of a before and after photo? Because that sounds like a great idea. That's something that we could really track.
That's another great
It'd be
idea.
nice to have a as best before photo and as best after photo, because really that tells the story, not any type of
Absolutely.
application or anything of the success. you know?
absolutely, and I'll email that to Aaron too, so that next time, and I'll email the applicants and ask for if we can take before photos and then after, and during and then after photos.
Yeah.
Well, they're supposed to do that as part of the
I was
grant,
going to
right?
say,
Yeah, that's part of the
we do
grant.
have the before.
That's right, that is part of it, but something that we could also publish on our social media as well. I think it'd be good.
Because it'd be good, one thing is not only that you're showing that where money's going, but also if people have thoughts on future use of the money, they could say, oh, look what they did to their building or whatever, look at the improvement, maybe I could do the same for my building.
Exactly, exactly.
Anything else?
You know, there was something in here that I underlined. Oh, should the project be awarded grant funding, a certificate of appropriateness will be awarded simultaneously, subject to the payment of the appropriate fee. So are we actually going to charge them a fee for the certificate
That's
of
the only
appropriateness?
thing- The only thing that was just, that is within a certificate of appropriateness. Technically, right now, it only applies to
It's only a
Mark,
PACA.
because that's only a certificate of appropriateness is only for locally designated districts or landmarks.
Okay, all right.
So technically, Mark will need a certificate of appropriateness.
$25, please. Okay, all
That's
right,
fine.
so that's only for, okay.
Okay. And we have no problem with that. We can't wait. We wish our job was already done.
Anything else for the good of the order? Jeff, I'm looking to you just to make sure we've got everything on your list.
No, it's okay. No, I have nothing else.
Okay. We'll entertain a motion to adjourn then, 2:31 p.m. I'll motion. Dave, you get to second.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor signify by aye.
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 And I
Okay.
applaud the secretary's efforts today during the meeting.